my actual eyesight. Is there the high drive? Deep center. Go, go, go. We're out of here. We're out of here. Say ya, playa.
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A gold pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity.
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.
Folks, we welcome you here to Cumberland Regional High School. A bit of a hike from where DWB is born and raised. However, we are just joining you in time for the senior ceremonies for both Cumberland Regional and Timber Creek. They just recognized the Timber Creek seniors, and now they are recognizing the Cumberland seniors. So we will keep the mics on, but I'll stay quiet as they introduce the regional seniors of Cumberland High School.
They are at every game and do a great job recording the stats. They are diligent with the record keeping and are always willing to help the team out. They record games when needed and laugh at all Coach Thomas's goofy antics and dad jokes. We wish you ladies nothing but the best in your endeavors after high school. Thank you, Olivia, Ava, and Val. Our first senior soccer player we'd like to recognize is Aiden Kelly, number 16. Aiden is not able to be with us this evening, but we want to take a second to recognize him for his contributions to the Cumberland Regional Boys Soccer Program. Thank you, Aiden. Next up, we have defender number 2, Robbie Miller. Robbie is escorted by his mom, Nicole, and dad, Rob. Robbie was a delightful pickup this season, transferring into Cumberland to play his senior year. We would have loved to have had him all 4 years, but he quickly established himself as a Colt in the preseason, showing everyone his worth at Stockton. He loved his experience as a Colt and quickly embraced the derby with Bridgeton, which is why he had so much fun spanking those pesky Bulldogs. Robbie has contributed in defense to Cumberland 8 wins and 2 shutouts this season. He plans to study business and in college and will miss his teammates. Thank you, Robbie. Number 2, Robbie Miller. Next up, we have midfielder number 19, Angel Santiago. Angel is escorted by his mom, Imelda Cruz, and his dad, Magdalene Santiago. This is Angel's first season with Cumberland as he transferred in from Bridgeton this year. It goes without saying that he has been a big pickup for the team, and there's no wonder why one of his favorite memories at Cumberland was beating the Bridgeton Bulldogs this year. Angel plans to major in music or engineering after high school. He is a great addition to the team this year, and the coaches are glad to have you on the team. Thank you, Angel. Number 19, Angel Santiago. Next up is midfielder number 6, Steven Huerta. Steven is escorted by his mom, Connie Cruz. Steven is a second-year varsity letter winner who has made a huge impact for the team this year as our number 6 defensive midfielder. Often contributing to the build-up of play and starting our attacks, Steven brought a different level of effort, energy, and drive this year to help us have the season we are having. Steven will never forget whooping the Bulldogs 5-1 this season and is very proud of that. He will miss the bus rides and playing soccer with all the guys he grew up with. Steven has 2 goals and 1 assist this season, with 3 goals and 1 assist in his career. He has greatly contributed to our defensive success this season that has allowed us to only allow 18 goals. He is currently a member of the trades program at Regional and looks to go into HVAC after high school. Thank you, Stephen. Once again, number 6, Stephen Wilkins. Next is number 3, Luke Lockdown Fisher. Luke is escorted by his mom Lauren and his dad Bob. Luke is a 3-year varsity player who has seen time all 4 years at the varsity level. Some of his fondest memories while wearing the orange and white for Cumberland was upsetting Ocean City in the playoffs and locking down the Bulldogs on defense this season. Luke has contributed greatly to helping our goalkeeper reach the record books for career wins and shutouts as he has been on defense for the past 2 years with Ryan. Luke has 3 goals on his career and has greatly contributed to our defensive success this season that has allowed us to only allow 18 goals. Luke loves competing against his teammates in 4v4s, inside, and the bus rides. Luke has been an integral leader in the back and keeping his lines clear. He plans to attend college to major in business after high school. Thank you, Luke. Once again, number 3, Luke Fisher. Next up, we have midfielder number 18, Jesus Ramirez, a.k.a. Chooch. Chooch is escorted by his parents, Sarieli and Jesus Ramirez, and sisters Natalie, Julie, and Paola. His girlfriend, Olivia Coleman, is one of the managers for the team. Jesus is a 3-time varsity letter winner, but has seen considerable varsity time all 4 years at Cumberland. As many of his teammates, his favorite memory over the past 4 years was taking the Bridgeton Puppy Dogs to the pound in our 5-1 victory. Jesus has scored 3 goals and added 4 assists in his career as a Colt, which includes 1 goal and 1 assist from this season. He will miss the 4v4 competition inside and the bus rides with his boys. He wants to study sports medicine and play soccer in college after this year. Jesus wanted us to share the following quote: "I want to say a big thank you to my parents for making everything possible for me. I want to say thank you to all the boys for being like family, and I will miss you all. Also, big thanks to the coaches for putting in the time every day for the team." Thank you, Chooch. Once again, number 18, Jesus Chooch Ramirez. Next up, we have forward number 9, Asher Kennedy. Asher is escorted by his mom, Amber, and his dad, Bill. Asher is one of the 3 recipients of a 4th-year varsity letter. Asher will miss the music bumping on the bus rides and hanging out with his team. He will also miss listening to Coach's iconic Deptford speeches. If you know, you know. He is planning to attend college and major in engineering. Asher made a huge comeback this season after a devastating ACL injury last year at Washington Township. This year he is the 2nd highest goal scorer with 6 goals, 3 assists, and on his career he has 8 goals and 5 assists. Asher has been an integral leader at the top of the field and off the field, always motivating his teammates and being a positive leader. It has been Coach Thomas's pleasure coaching you and continuing to grow in our relationship over the past few years. I am proud of the young man you have grown to be and will miss you next year. Thank you, Asher. Number 9, Asher Kennedy. Next up, goalkeeper number 1, Ryan Griner. Ryan is escorted by his mom, Rebecca, and his dad, Joe. Ryan is a 4th-year varsity award winner, playing defense his freshman year and stepping into the role of goalkeeper after our Timber Creek game his sophomore year. Ryan came in big his sophomore year, being an athlete and stepping into the role of goalkeeper to help the team out in a position that he had never played. He made up for his lack of technical training with sheer athleticism and has never wavered in doing what was best for the team. He has led us to a first-round playoff win over Ocean City and a tie that resulted in a shootout in the second round versus Moorestown. He is in the school's top 10 record books for career wins and shutouts for a goalkeeper. He has 77 saves this year and 304 on his career, 1 assist from a punt, and a total of 19.5 wins and 10 shutouts. Ryan will miss being with his teammates and plans to continue building his landscaping business after high school. Thank you, Ryan. Number 1, Ryan Reiner. Next up, we have captain and defender number 4, Joe Nono Santiago. Joe is escorted by his mom, Sylvia Santiago, his brother Fernando, who is also a midfielder for the Colts, and his sister Sylvia, who is a Cumberland Colts soccer alumni.
That's my captain.
Joe is a 3-year varsity letter winner and has been a key part to our defense's success over the past 3 seasons. Joe is dedicated and has been the backbone to Cumberland soccer with his leadership for 2 years as a captain. Joe has contributed greatly to helping our goalkeeper reach the record books with 19.5 career wins and 10 shutouts, as he has been on defense all 3 years with Ryan. Joe's favorite memories are bracket busting number 4 seeded Ocean City in the first round and saying no to the Bridgeton Bulldogs as a defender this year. He embodies the coaching quote of "good enough isn't good enough," as he is always pushing his teammates to give only their best. He'll miss playing with these seniors in the bus rides. Joe plans to attend RCSJ Cumberland for 2 years, where he hopes to play soccer and then transfer to Liberty University to major in physical education. Joe will be missed greatly by the coaches, as he is such a stand-up kid that has grown and matured each and every year. We love the work ethic you demand from yourself and your teammates and how you hold everyone accountable to a high commitment toward excellence. Thank you, Joe. Once again, number 4, Joe Nuno Santiago. And finally, we have midfielder and captain number 11, Blake Modry. Blake is escorted by his parents, Stephanie and Ryan Modry. His girlfriend, Valentina Polanco, is a manager for the team. Blake is a 4-year varsity winner and has played in every half of Cumberland soccer over his past 4 years. It was evident from his first game that Blake needed to be on the field and would contribute to the action by giving everything he had. His favorite moment was beating Ocean City 1-0 and jumping in the ocean to celebrate. He will miss competing against his teammates in 4v4s and coach getting them pumped up before the games. Perhaps also the infamous Deptford speeches have also grown on him over the past. Team to watch out for barking mice. Apparently there's an infestation around the fields at Cumberland. Just ask coach. His goal is to play soccer at the collegiate level for TCNJ and major in mechanical engineering. Blake is a returning first-team midfielder, and this year we are hoping that he gets that recognition again. Blake is a renaissance man in every way, as he enjoys photography, nature, snowboarding, and playing tennis. Blake is one of the best people ever, and he will be greatly missed for his unwavering character, integrity, sportsmanship, and compassion for others, which is why the coaching staff will miss you tremendously. Being a great player is just an added bonus when it comes to Blake. Once again, thank you, Blake. Number 11, Blake Modry. Good luck to all our seniors at 2024. We wish you success and nothing but the best in everything you do. It has been a pleasure working with each and every one of you as players. May God bless you always, and may you always have a passion for the great game of soccer. Coaches Thomas, Jenkins, and Willis will miss you guys, and would like to thank you for the hard-working attitude, commitment, and your striving for excellence that you have helped bring to this team in the past 4 years. One more time, a round of applause for our 2024 boys soccer seniors.
All right, well, there you go. That's the public address announcer who has just been really listing off some incredible accomplishments here for Cumberland boys soccer. And they've had a big turnaround this year, coming off of a 6-12-1 campaign in 2023. Cumberland in the Tri-County Liberty Division has certainly made a change. They're coming in just one win short of Timber Creek at 8-5-1. Timber Creek at 9-5-1 here late in 2024. And Cumberland 5-3 in the Tri-County Liberty Division, right up there with Timber Creek, sitting at 4-3-1. And you know, Cumberland with Gene Thomas at the helm. Gene Thomas is one of the most selfless boys soccer coaches and really athletic coaches in general in South Jersey. And we were supposed to be here, not specifically here, but at the Cumberland soccer field where they usually have their home games versus Delsey on October the 8th. We ran into some electrical issues, and now we're back here at the home of the Colts in Colt Country as they face off against the Timber Creek Chargers. I'm Dan Wilkins up here in the booth in the right half of three booths here at Cumberland Regional High School. It's certainly a hike for us, about an hour and 10 minutes from home, but it's worth it. And we had a full start on the national anthem. But Timber Creek, like we said, you know, coming into this matchup, they've had back-to-back wins head-to-head against Cumberland, and that includes late September this year with a 2-1 win. They won 3-1 in late October of 2023, but there was a time where Cumberland had dominated this matchup. In October of 2022 and September of 2023, Cumberland won by a score of 6-1 and 6-0 respectively. So even though Timber Creek has won 3 out of the last 5 matchups, in the games that Cumberland has, won against this crew, it's been by a several goal margin. So the fans are starting to fill this grandstand as the seniors have been introduced. And I love that story of Blake Modry jumping into the Atlantic Ocean after beating Ocean City in an upset win in the first round of the playoffs. You know, that Cumberland team certainly went far. And we will stay on the air for a rendition of the national anthem.
The NJSIAA requires officials to enforce all rules regarding unsportsmanlike conduct by coaches and players. There will be no tolerance for any negative behavior such as taunting, trash talking, and verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion. Such behavior will result in being ejected from this event. All participants must respect the game and respect their opponents. At this time, if everyone would please rise and remove their hats for the playing of our national anthem. And now for tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Chargers, coached by Sean Ortzman. At midfield, Bryce Molson. At midfield, number 10, Papalzai Zazai. Number 9, Danny Ford. Number 8, Brody Rowe. Number 7,
All right, so both teams just broke from the sportsmanship huddle in the middle. As the public address announcer is going over the starting lineup, we will do the same for the Timber Creek Chargers with the head coach, Sean Ortsman, and a 9-5-1 record here in 2024. They've got Aiden Jackson, I read that completely wrong. Jackson Nasuti, number 1, Lucas Solzer, the captain, Madden Goss, Bryce McWhorter, Gavin Feinberg, Jack Feinberg, Cristiano DeLuca, Brody Rowe, Danny Ford, Papelzai Zai, and Bryce Mullison as the starting 11 for Timber Creek. And for Cumberland, led by Coach Gene Thomas, it's going to be a handful of seniors in the order tonight, as it's going to be Ryan Greiner, Robert Miller, Luke Fisher, Joe Santiago, Josh Holt, Stephen Puerta, Asher Kennedy, not Fernando Santiago, but Blake Modry, Justin Cornwall, Jesus Ramirez, and Angel Santiago. We've got 80 minutes of Tri-County Conference soccer right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday night. We just came off of an incredible broadcast last night down at RCSJ as a volleyball match between Atlantic Cape and the Gloucester Roadrunners went to a 5th set. Atlantic Cape was up 2-0. Roadrunners came back and forced the 5th set. They lost the 5th set 15-8. However, we have a fun one planned here between the black and orange Cumberland Colts and the gray and blue Timber Creek Chargers. For Cumberland and Timber Creek, like we said, they already have history against each other this year. They ended up losing Timber Creek back on September the 26th by a score of 2-1. And that was something that broke a pretty big streak for them. They won 3 in a row prior to that game on the 26th. And that was a game where Timber Creek had the first goal and ended up having the last goal as Dan Ford had the game winner in the final 5 minutes. Their one tie this year was back on September the 20th versus Sterling. And, you know, this team started off the season pretty so-so and 2-2. But they ripped off a handful of wins, and they have won 4 of their last 6, with losses to Williamstown and Delsey, both 1-0, but wins over Pensgrove, Highland, Glassboro, and Deptford. But this is a team that is very defense reliant, and they have only allowed 18 goals this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game stays pretty defense-centered all night. Timber Creek, however, they did not allow a single goal for their first 6 matches of the season. They beat Cedar Creek 3-0, GCIT 1-0, Highland 2-0, Bishop Eustace 4-0, Haddon Heights 2-0, and Winslow 1-0. In fact, the game where they won 2-1 over Cumberland was only the second match of the season where Timber Creek had surrendered a goal. They tied they tied Deptford 2-2 back on September the 24th, and then that aforementioned Cumberland game back on the 26th was just the second one. However, Timber Creek has been slipping in recent weeks. They have lost 3 of their last 4, including losses to Kingsway, Deptford, and Highland. We've got 40 minutes of senior night soccer here from Cumberland Regional High School, just a little bit away from home, and we're underway. Already starting off on a hot note.
Come on, shoot!
Timber Creek certainly had the pressure put on them early, as the defense there from McWhorter. Crossing over there, good move by Luke Fisher, the man that they call Lockdown Fisher. That one is going to roll along the sideline. He's got a good chance to make up for it here. McWhorter falls over him. Back to number 9, Asher Kennedy, and they're going to say that one is out of bounds. So already some fast-paced action here in the first minute of play. This one is thrown in by Josh Holt.
Sorry, my fault. I just messed up.
Another good touch there, tries to mitigate the situation as somebody just took a slip. Cumberland sending it back. And this will not touch Creek's goalkeeper. However, he slides out for it. And they'll blow the whistle on that one. Timber Creek's goalkeeper, Jackson Nasuti, the sophomore class of 27, already has racked up over 215 saves in 2 seasons as a member of the Chargers, as this will be a free kick for the Chargers. Had 106 as a freshman and is already up to 110 here late into his sophomore campaign, and this is just his 30th career start for Nasuti, as this one is booted over the middle. Headed by number 3, Madden Goss. And offsides there. Just a little too much on it. So a handful of whistles in the first few minutes, and that's how we get started here from Cumberland. Over to midfield. Cumberland trying to break away with it with Fisher. Here we go again. He takes a hit. Excuse us, folks, while we adjust some audio levels here. It is somewhat of an echoey press box, so with the camera mic capturing the field noise, we're just trying to level that the best as we can. I realize when I'm listening back on the stream that I sound like a robot. Joe Santiago had that one. Crosses over Jack Feinberg. Timber Creek driving the other way. Touched by Mullison. He's got a chance. In the football end zone, this one gets tipped. And it's saved. I don't know who touched that, but I don't think it was the goalkeeper. I don't think it was Griner. I think it was stopped before it got to him. And this one will roll back to Nasuti. Back over to middle to number 7, Cristiano DeLuca. Here goes DeLuca. And DeLuca sends this back towards the middle. Cumberland takes it in with Santiago. Angel Santiago, that is. This one's got a good trajectory, a little too much. And I believe that was Fisher. He didn't have the last touch, but he was at least charging for it on the inner sideline. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's Asher Kennedy. He has the leg brace on his right leg. Something that Owen Bolton on Pittman has been playing with this entire season in the Tri-County Conference. Sends this one back the other way to Angel Santiago. He's got space. Sends it over the middle. This one's a good leg. But Nasuti rolls and takes care of it. That's a good play by Cumberland there to be able to cross the field efficiently, without much of a threat from Timber Creek. Now they're able to swing the momentum the other way, with Timber Creek still being on their side of the field, not even really anywhere close to Ryan Griner. Need to find a way to make good plays here early in the first half, as we are only 6 minutes in to this 80-minute contest and into this 40-minute first half. Of course, the last time we covered Cumberland in soccer with Gene Thomas was last year in a 1-0 win over Deptford. That was a game where Deptford's head coach had been thrown out of the game after the final whistle. Basically got a post-game red card, I guess, for some extracurriculars after the whistle had blown. Angel Santiago takes over. past Dan Ford. McWhirter was in on that one. Santiago again holding charge. That one almost hit the corner flag, and Feinberg was the one who had the last touch on it. This will be a throw-in for the Colts. Timber Creek's kind of holding them into a corner. And that's one of those things that makes a good defense, especially, you have to have a good defense in order to go for your entire 6 matches, your first 6 matches, without conceding a goal. Cumberland only allowing 18 goals all season to this point. It's impressive. But, what Timber Creek has done, or at least did do back in the early part of September, was really able to send the team out to another level. It's not like they had any 0-0 ties. They were winning games with authority, combining the aspect of a good offense and a powerful defense. Now, like we said, they've lost their, 3 of their last 4. So that sentiment has waned a little bit. From the lefty, a boot by Nasuti lands short of midfield. Again, creating some space for Cumberland. Here we go. He finds room. You hear it in the crowd. Couldn't get it. You could hear that energy building, but instead Timber Creek thwarts the threat. And that will stay in play on the outer sideline. Timber Creek creating space. And now in transition down the field. It gets taken in before it could get to Mullison, and we're going to have a foul. I think Cumberland needed something like that. Timber Creek was in transition. They were having good momentum, and even though it, bangs up your player a little bit, penalty goes against them, not you, and ends up creating a good situation for you guys to send this one away. Traverses about 40 yards on the boot. On the free kick there. It's back to number 18, Jesus Ramirez. Creek sliding in. Cumberland with some light touches. Nasuti goes out, collides, and he will hang on to the ball. Santiago was right in on that one, and Nasuti ended up taking some hard contact. This ball goes straight up in the air. Sulzer takes it, and now it's back in Cumberland's possession with Huerta. It gets passed from Ramirez back to Huerta as they cross midfield again. Having to backpedal a little bit as Cumberland looks to set something up here in the 10th minute. Driving through some traffic, it's Fisher. And sending this one back to the goalkeeper, Greiner, who, as we were told during the pregame introductions, is top 10 in Cumberland school history in the saves category. Now, we don't have the full list of that, but considering how long this place has been open for, it's a nice sentiment to have in the record books. Over the middle again, back to, that's number 15, Justin Cornwall. Getting a good leg on it. 1 hop, 2 hop, and Greiner takes it in. Another good boot by Greiner. Here comes a breakaway as Cornwall tries to take it in. Does not get any luck on that, and that's out of play. Greiner, as a goalie, has recorded several saves in all 4 years of his time as a Colt. 7 in 2021, 64 in 2023, 156 across 18 games this past season, and is already at 77 in 13 games played. I mean, look, these guys are still having 4 or 5 more games to play in the regular season. But how about the fact that you can go from 156 saves in 1 year to 77? And probably if you add up that math, he's probably going to finish at like maybe 100, 110 if the numbers stay the same. As here's Cornwall setting it up well. He's in traffic. Goes to set it up on the ground, and it's saved by Nasuti to his right. Dives on top of that one in the teal, and we remain scoreless. They had to find a way to get out of that. Timber Creek had a man at every corner, and it just really wasn't all that feasible. It seemed like they had something set up for Blake Modry. Now here's Cornwall again, 2-on-1. He sets it up from the 20, back to Ramirez. Into the corner, they've got him back down, and it's out. As that one went back to Bryce McWhirter. Griner himself for Cumberland also has an assist, which he recorded last year. This will be a corner for Cumberland, the first of its kind for either side tonight. Here we go. It looks good, but Nasuti is right there. And he works through everybody, fires it over the middle. And now Timber Creek is in transition. That gets broken up. And that will go out of play. Number 2, Lucas Solzer and Bryce Mullison, the senior and sophomore respectively, in on that one as they tried to break up the Cumberland possession. And I guess Cumberland kind of broke up their move in transition. Here we go for Cornwall again. He's got everybody on him, and it goes out to the left of the goalpost. And that looked good. Cornwall has had many opportunities in that situation as a handful of subs are coming in. Cornwall, who has been on the edge of scoring multiple times, he will get subbed out. It's 2 in for Cumberland and 1 out for Creek. And this will be another corner for the Colts. It will be taken by number 18, Ramirez. This one's got some air time. Hits off of the right and left foot of Fisher. Shoots, and in baseball terms, we call that a can of corn, right to Nasuti. I mean, hey, for a guy that's had over 100 saves in both of his freshman and sophomore years, he's showing why. And he's also showing glimpses of why Timber Creek commanded 6 straight shutouts to start the season. He's not exactly getting the most difficult looks. He's not exactly, he hasn't had to dive on every save that he's had, but he's had to make an effort. And Cumberland's put some velocity on their shots on goal. They've put the pressure on, but not enough to break through and get on the board. This one's going to be sent by Mullison, who's got some room. This one might be a chance to break free. And Cumberland intercepts, but we're going to have a whistle here. They're going to stop the clock. I think we're going to have a card. Clock is stopped at 25:20. To be quite honest, I'm not sure who the card is on. I didn't get a great glimpse of who was there and who was in the midst of that. The foul is, and the card is going to be on Cumberland. So the clock is stopped 15 minutes into this one. And Lucas Solzer, the senior forward, with 16 career goals, looks for number 17, diving and stopping. Griner picks it up. And he's been a big addition for the Colts for a reason. He picks up another save, diving to his right. Kennedy drops it. And that's where we roll. Diving, that's going to be trouble, and another foul. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite E of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, right next to Lambs Road. It's a bit of a hike from Cumberland, but still worth it for excellent service. Speaking of excellent service, Cumberland tried to make an excellent play there. But no cigars. Timber Creek and Cumberland still going back and forth. On Creek's side of the field. Oh, look at that. Nice little move there by Fernando Santiago, one of the newer subs here for the Colts. This one might be going back the other way. Cumberland is able to shove the ball back into their possession. A few headers back and forth on the far sideline. Again, trying to slide in and break up the momentum. Unable to do so. Cumberland back in it. Again, having to pass through a litany of gray and blue as these guys are really huddled up in one spot. And it hasn't really allowed Cumberland to break free in many situations, even in the chances where they've had shots on goal. Timber Creek has put the pressure on. You know, when Cornwall was taking a couple of those shots, he had 2-3 guys on him at any given time. And now here goes Creek again with Sulzer, who has 8 goals this year, half of his career 16. Out towards the corner flag, and it finally rolls out of play after a tough struggle. One sub coming in for Timber Creek, as this is going to be a corner for the Chargers. If you're just joining us, we are scoreless in the 18th minute of this ball game. Cumberland introduced their seniors earlier tonight in a pregame ceremony, as here comes a corner. Headed well, off to the left, and out of play. But some great shots on goal on both sides for Greiner and for Timber Creek for Nasuti as well. I feel like I've heard that name before. I wonder if he might play baseball for Timber Creek. I feel like I've heard that name before. We covered Timber Creek baseball a handful of times this year with John Cates, diving. That's going to be a handball. Not only is it a foul, but I think they also called a handball because of the fact that he dove on top of the ball. Timber Creek with a free kick. Back at their, I keep wanting to use a football term, they're going to stop the clock. 21:48 is where the clock. They're trying to get everybody's attention to stop the clock. It will stop at 21:43. Not sure what the commotion is. I wonder if it's a clarification of that last play where the Timber Creek player got hit and then fell on top of the ball. That could very well be a possibility. I can't sit here and with a straight face say that I'm confident about it, but we'll see. I think they were also going over to the Timber Creek sideline to have a quick discussion with Sean Ortzman. All right, so now they're going to go again at this free kick. And it's away. Good boot by Sulzer. Headed well. Knocked back down. Timber Creek back on it. And that's out of play. Modry is trying to say that it's his ball. It is. It's thrown in by Santiago with a great deal of urgency. Setting it up. He finds room for Modry. It is to the left of Nasuti, and that's going to miss. Mullison got the last touch, and Timber Creek gets the last laugh. So Timber Creek hangs on in that possession to avoid putting a goal on the board. And what is already a defensive-minded game adds layers to that notion. That'll be a foul on the Chargers. Don't forget, folks, this is a one-man band at the moment. So I'm adjusting the camera, pushing the buttons on the laptop, and commentating. So We appreciate your patience. We do have a Venmo at DW Broadcasting. DW Broadcasting, no spaces, no hyphens, if you'd like to contribute. I'm a college student at Rowan College of South Jersey, and we do all of this to advance my career and also advance the careers of many other aspiring sportscasters in South Jersey and beyond. This will be, oh, look, a little fake here. Headed. And again, this is going to roll out to the left of Nasuti. And we remain scoreless in the 21st minute. New sub coming in for Timber Creek. But yeah, I mean, I try not to. And if you watch any of our old broadcasts, I'm not a beggar for donations or contributions. However, I'm the only person here today. Not the only person in the press box, but the only person working this live stream. We have a dedicated crew of producers, commentators, and camera folks who are all aspiring to work in the sports media field. And here comes Kennedy again. That one's out of play. So we appreciate a follow on social media on Instagram at DW Broadcasting and Twitter or X at DW Broadcasting. Here comes a free kick. Not a lot of warning as Nasuti tips it away. And this one's going to go back out to midfield. Raced out by the Chargers. And sophomore, I think that's Cameron Fiorani out there. Number 8. Cornwall's going to be back in for Cumberland. The sun is setting here at Cumberland Regional High School, and a very nice crowd here on this Tuesday evening. Not a lot of empty seats on the home side. Nasuti has it to his left in the 22nd minute. And the lefty sends it away. Creek with a high header. Lands at midfield again, trying to just get back at it. He took a shot. And Modry, the workhorse of this Cumberland team who has played every half of his 4-year varsity career, looks to set it up. Timber Creek interjects. Again, floating this one over towards Santiago. Here we go again. Fernando Santiago shoots into the right of Nasuti. Did not get it. And we remain scoreless. I saw almost every soul in this grandstand almost start to stand up and then sit back down again. It is a tense Tuesday night here on a beautiful Tuesday night. It was 86 degrees back home in Pittman when we left the house this afternoon. I did not think I'd be wearing sweatpants today, but it is a wonderful mid-October kind of day for soccer. Cumberland again wrestling their way back into possessions with Fernando Santiago. He's had good footwork all night. This one goes back to Cornwall, and Cornwall's going to send it out on his own accord. Actually, they're going to say that's Cumberland ball. I definitely thought, I thought Timber Creek had the last touch there, but I'm not sure. That one's out of play. This one's again hugging the near sideline towards the corner. Cornwall couldn't get it. And another sub coming in for Timber Creek. Don't forget, the week ahead on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, we have a lot of fun things on the ledger, if you will. Paulsboro and Clayton football Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pittman at Gateway for the DWB fan vote game. That's Friday at 7 p.m. We're also going to have a pregame show from the parking lot of Gateway Regional High School as they have their annual cookout and, kind of like a little barbecue thing they have going over there. It's going to be real fun. And then Salem and Pensgrove on Saturday at noon to close out the regular season of DWB football. And one of the things that we noted as a Timber Creek player is down slow to get up, but he does get up. That is number 11, Billy Luxano. But one of the things that we realized when we're doing this senior coverage and when the public address announcer for Cumberland is riffing off these names, one of the things that was always mentioned was a win over Bridgeton, as Timber Creek again gets the opportunity back. That one's over everybody's head. But, you know, that's one of the things that makes a community that's so spread out and so, so rural. You know, they kind of have a common, they have a common, I guess you could say common belief in the fact that they want to beat Bridgeton. They're crosstown rivals. I mean, it means something for a school like Cherry Hill West or Cherry Hill East back near home where, you know, they're part of the same district, but they're friendly rivals. These are two big schools right across town from each other, as that is going to go. Or it will not. Maybe it's a good thing that they didn't score because I almost missed that camera shot. Ended up being no good, as you can see the net dips before the net dips before the goalpost. Here comes another chance. Timber Creek heads it. And then takes it away. That was a good opportunity to get the scoring started here late in the first half, or at least past the halfway point of the first half. But nothing going there as we remain 0-0, 13:30 and counting left in the first. There we go again for Cumberland. Racing across. This one's got a chance. Timber Creek interjecting again. Backing up Cornwall. That was kind of like a screen there. We've got everything going on. Ball is still in play. And Nasuti, in a banana split, ends up taking it in. I mean, that might have been, if that had gone for a goal, that would have been the slowest moving goal I think I've ever seen. But Nasuti was there, even though he had to kind of go down on one knee and extend his left leg. He made it happen. That one goes out of play. Let's take a look at the replay of that near goal from a few minutes ago.
Where, you know, they're part of the same district, but they're friendly rivals. These are two big schools right across town from each other, as that is going to go.
Or we had to cut back from that replay a little bit early as Cumberland was driving across. But it wasn't a goal anyway, so you kind of get the premise of it, but it just missed. You know, the goalpost is in a fixed spot. That net dips a little bit below the goalpost. That kind of made a tough situation to decide whether it was a goal or not. That will roll out to the left side. We are 11 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half. Again, big thanks to Gene Thomas, the head soccer coach, for having us out here today, along with second-year athletic director Colin Lewis, who is in the booth to our left. This will be a corner for the Chargers, as they are going to try to get on the board first, as they have done in 9 of their 14 matches so far. That one is over to the left and out. 11 minutes left now. Don't forget, tomorrow night on Wednesday, October 23rd, Dan Wilkins Broadcasting visits the virtual banks of California Speedway in Fontana, California, as it is race number 5 out of 14 in the simulated competitive online racing experience from California Speedway. Alex Mullen, the graduate of Shalleck, will be on the call for that one. I'll be on the production, and Dakota Brothers will be on the color commentary for that event tomorrow night, 9 p.m. from the virtual banks of Southern California on DWB. finding some space for Santiago, hugging the inner sideline. Cornwall had a beat on it. Now it goes over to Julian Lopez. Sets it up, and that would have been a field goal in high school football. However, it is not Friday Night Lights here from Cumberland. That would have been, what, a 42-yard field goal from the right hash? Sometimes you got to make yourself laugh. This one's going to be a free kick for Timber Creek. This one's got some room. Falls 25. And Cumberland getting a shoulder. Does not stay in long enough for Cornwall to touch it. And that's out of play with the defense from the sophomore Bryce McWhirter, the defense on the defense. This will be thrown in by Cumberland and by number 14, Julian Lopez. For Cumberland, for the remainder of their schedule, they don't have too much left, and honestly, neither does Timber Creek. They've got another 6 o'clock night game at Deptford on the 24th. They are away at Millville in non-conference play on the 29th, and they are home to Shalleck in more rural versus rural competition on November 1st, next Friday, for Tri-County competition. Backed up against the corner here, Timber Creek finds a way out of it, passes it back to Mullino. To Mullison, sorry. Here we go, we got an offsides. Had a little bit of merit to it, but just couldn't stay in. That'll be an offsides against the Chargers. This broadcast is brought to you by Vincent's Lawn Care. Fall is here, but that never means that it's too late or too early to get your lawn, your bushes, or anything in between taken care of. Call today for a free quote at 609-413-0403. Another free kick on the way for Cumberland. A little bit of mind game action there as we're back in play. The header by the young fella, Israel Benigno. And another crossover by Benigno. As we're seeing some great footwork from the Cumberland offense, even though it hasn't resulted in a score. Cornwall, again trying to fight through those two defenders. It gets taken in by Timber Creek. And back to number 4, the sophomore McWhirter. This one finds space. Cumberland slides to save it. Another crossover by Santiago. It's been Santiago and Benigno who have had some excellent footwork clips here this evening. And that's allowed the ball to, traverse down the field and get some better looks at it. We've got 3, 4, 5 subs coming in. 3 for Cumberland, it looks like. Actually, it's less than I thought. It's 2 subs coming in for Cumberland, 1 for Timber Creek. There were just some folks near the sideline that made it look like they were coming in. Six minutes remaining in the first half. That one finds some room, but right to Masudi, who takes it in. The kick by McWhirter kind of had a path that went awry before it got to Madden Goss. Keeping it in play on the far sideline is Sulzer until he didn't. And that's out of play. And a very quick throw in by Cumberland on their sideline, setting it up for Ramirez.
It's a goal, Cumberland. They're on the board first, 1-0. The Colts strike first. That was Angel Santiago who got the goal. I apologize. You can blame the jersey manufacturer. The 18 and the 19 on that jersey are very what should we say? Very scrunched together. But Santiago, the senior, scores on senior night. And the Colts are on the board first in the 35th minute. And Cumberland making a quick substitution before the whistle. Trying to figure out what the situation is here. Timber Creek's head coach, Sean Ortsman, not happy with something on the sideline. Maybe it was that substitution that they were about to blow the whistle, and then Gene Thomas made a quick change. I mean, you can see Ortsman is I can't read lips, but just off of his body language, not happy about something. Oh, that's odd. And we're back underway. But Timber Creek now down 1-0. I'm not sure if it was whether about the substitution or something that had happened on the actual goal. Timber Creek might have a chance to tie it, but that is denied. Number 14, Aiden Johnson, had a good look at that one. Here comes another corner, headed. Another header, stays in the air. Barely just touched the ground there, and it's sent out back at midfield. Timber Creek putting the pressure back on with Madison Goss. A shot blocked by Griner, who bats it down. Just had to find a way. You know, Timber Creek, immediately after that goal was scored by the Colts, gets themselves back into a winning position with a corner kick that didn't go. But now that Cumberland is up, the pressure is on, and Timber Creek obviously trying to avenge that first half goal, looking to make something happen. But it's funny. Last time we saw Cumberland in boys soccer, what was it? It was a 1-0 game. Now, however, that goal was scored in the 80th minute. So we had a lot more scoreless soccer beforehand. We've got 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Goes back out to Nasuti. Again, trying to escape the pressure there on a little bit of a struggle there. Here we go again. Sending it up is McWhirter. And a foul. Not sure who that foul was on. I believe it's on Timber Creek because they're going to stop the clock. And I think somebody's getting a card here. Because either he's giving him an explanation or he's giving him a card.
I didn't see. It seemed like he was not happy with that call. Either way, Cumberland is going to find their way back into another good situation on a free kick. Setting that shot up in frame at the tail end of the first half. And here we go. Watch this formation. They are all go. It's blocked. Blocked really before they could get anywhere with it. Now Timber Creek's back in transition on their side. I mean, Timber Creek setting them up for success, but it gets taken down. Looks like by Fisher. And wow, look at this. Man on his horse, he's got space. And I thought he was going to take a shot, but he didn't because there was a whistle that I did not hear beforehand. There's another one tipped. Still in play on the near sideline. We've got 90 seconds and counting. Cumberland again, trying to find some space, tripping, falling, no foul. Play stays alive. This will go back to Mullison. Another handful of headers back and forth. This one goes back to McWhirter. It's number 8, Cameron Fiorani. Actually, no, that is number 5, Josh Holt. That number 5 is very squished on that jersey. I apologize. Just trying to do our best around here. A struggle on the near sideline. Cumberland takes it. And it looks like Timber Creek will throw it in. Actually, no, it's going to be a Timber Creek free kick. They've only got 30 seconds left. So they're going to call this one with urgency. As here we go. Off to the right for Zazai. There's 15 seconds on the clock. And Cumberland sends it away. And that should end the first half. As Nasudi takes it in, he will keep the ball himself. And with 3 seconds left, we end the first half with a 1-0 Cumberland lead. A goal in the 35th minute. How about that? From the senior, Angel Santiago ends the first half with a bang for Cumberland. And they had a couple more chances, and Timber Creek put the pressure on. But no can do. Gene Thomas and his crew will take a quick break, and so will we. 40 more minutes to play, and it's 1-0 Colts. We'll be right back.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor. 1-0 Red Bank. Now here is Al D'Elia. The man they used to call Big Al has now slimmed down, and he still hits dingers. He went viral in 2018 for his catchphrase during the Little League World Series when he was introduced by the ESPN camera crews and was given his standard introduction. He said, "Hi, my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers." And that sentiment still holds true today. He had his first career high school home run versus Rumson Fairhaven in their opening game of the campaign last week. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But D'Elia, kind of a folk hero for baseball players who just want to hit the ball far and have fun while doing it. The poster child now is the poster big fella. Fly ball right center field. This is going to be a sac fly. Taken in by Terranova, and Big Al might not hit dingers, but he certainly drives in runs. It's 2-0. Excuse me, Goldberg is a shortstop tonight, but he had a .400 average in 2023 as a junior. A homer in each of his sophomore and junior campaigns, .331 career mark and a .430 career slugging percentage. And speaking of home runs, there's a fly ball to left, and it's gone! Devin Goldberg answers on opening day with a first pitch rocket to left, and it's 1-0 Bridgewater. We were just talking about the long ball, and he stomps on the plate, mobbed at home, and Goldberg, the leadoff man, with a swing of gold. It's 1-0. Late switch for the visitors. Again inside their 5. Oh, they're going to pitch this one back for the flea flicker. Touchdown, West! Oh, my goodness! Taking inspiration from Nick Foles and Trey Burton. I think they just pulled off the Philly special. That is the greatest touchdown I have ever seen. Well, maybe not the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. Maybe that's stretching a little bit, but one of the greatest touchdowns we've seen in a long time. And it's a tie game. Beebe and Copsetta trading a couple looks. They know what's going on. Full count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic 26th annual. They are back on top for the first.
we return to you in the second half. Cumberland leads 1-0 as a late goal by the senior Angel Santiago picks up a 1-0 lead for the Colts. As what would normally be a NFC-AFC clash with the Colts and Chargers ends up becoming a Tri-County Liberty match instead here with 40, I keep putting 45 in the system. There are 40 minutes to play, and we're underway. Cumberland with a block right off the get-go for the second half. Nasuti's in trouble, didn't get it.
Just make a call.
Almost had it there, but instead, crossing through the middle, so just missed. To the left of Nasuti. And everybody in this place just sighed as loud as they could, as that was so close to being a goal. That's out of play. It'll be thrown in by number 14, Julian Lopez. Going back the other way towards the sideline. And almost hit Santiago's... hit one of the senior dedications out there. Whatever spare ball they have. Creek with a free kick. Wow, that had a great leg on it, and it almost went in without any help from 60 yards away, actually closer to 70 yards away. Reiner keeps it to himself and now sets up the big kick. Again, traversing about 45, 50 yards. That one's out on the far sideline. This one's almost trouble from Nasuti, but he hangs on to it. Creek still on the ground. Cumberland takes care of it. Now it's DeLuca. Passes it across. Look at that. Creek trying to keep things rolling here, but Cumberland disrupting the force. Going back across for Cornwall. But they keep things rolling. Cornwall on the only touch in that throw-in. Now it goes back the other way for Timber Creek. And another throw-in goes out of bounds. That one was actually caught by Ortsman. And very quickly, actually I was going to say very quickly, we're back in play. We are not. DeLuca crosses over to the right. Again, keeping Cumberland with a header down. It will stay in just long enough for Modry. And that will roll out on the near sideline. Still sticking around for Huerta. Coming in Nasuti. Contact. He goes down after sending the ball away. That's going to stop the clock as Nasuti went down briefly. And that's just one of those things where you're not trying to hurt the goalkeeper, but you are trying to put the pressure on and force a bad situation. So, even though Cumberland put on the pressure there, you know, I don't think there's any reason why, you know, you'd go after him. So Timber Creek will send it away with lots of space, but also lots of ground to cover getting across this pitch here. .35-19 is where the clock is stopped. We're waiting for their whistle. We've got it. And we're back rolling again. Whistles now as a substitute coming in for Timber Creek. Here comes another throw. Kind of taking his sweet old time, Ryan Greiner. He did the Trent Bannell move there from back home in Audubon. Headed down by number 11, Billy Lagzama. This one goes back over to Nasuti, who remains in the game after contact on a kick from a couple of minutes ago. Again, Timber Creek shutting off some defenders. As again, back on what will be the football goal line, sends it out to the left. This might actually set up really good positioning here for Cumberland, as here comes the throw. Gets taken care of now. Timber Creek sending it the other way. They're in transition. Here we go. He's got one-on-one. He slides. And Cumberland hangs onto it, but Timber Creek still has a chance. And Greiner is there. That's exactly what he needed to do right there. Find a way to get out of it. And Timber Creek again towards the near sideline. That one's out. And a sub coming in for Cumberland. The sun has set this evening, but the action has certainly not gone away. As we are 8 minutes, or I should say 7 minutes, entering the 8th minute of the second half. Kennedy again staying on top of that one, back to Blake Modry. And that one got sent out on the far sideline. This will be a throw in for McWhirter, the sophomore back who has put up one goal in his rookie campaign, which was against Cumberland. Those have been the only points scored this season or at any point in his varsity career for the Chargers. Here comes another throw. Backing up to it is Greiner, and he's got it. This one finding some space for Cornwall. Here we go. Have a chance to make something happen here. That will be a goal. Cumberland. The goal is good. And the Colts take a 2-0 lead. I'm honestly not sure who scored that goal. But either way, the Colts lead 2-0. We're back rolling again. Back up, header comes down for Lugzama. Taking a hit there, Timber Creek staying on their feet. And Cornwall backing him up. And we've got a whistle. Yeah, like I said, I mean, there was just so much going on there. I'm just going to be honest and say that I don't know who scored that goal, but it does give the Colts a 2-0 lead. And Timber Creek's going to get a free kick here. Headed a few times and batted down by the Colts. Back to Ramirez. Still in that far sideline. Timber Creek keeping the play alive. Timber Creek back in transition. This ball's in no man's land. 1-on-1. Cumberland taking over with Lopez. And that's just over the head of Griner. And Creek stays off the board. Entering the 10th minute of the second half. Griner keeps it low. Keeps a low profile on it. Again, Cumberland trying to send this one back the other way. Now it's just him and the goalkeeper. And Nasuti's got it. Robert Miller got the goal. So Miller picks up that goal. I'm glad we got the clarification because I had no idea. I had no idea who had got that goal as the senior Miller. Both goals tonight for the Colts have been scored on senior night. Again, Timber Creek with some quick footwork, but Cumberland gets in on it. This will be a throw-in for Feinberg. Actually, no, it's not even Feinberg that's going to throw it in. He was just handing it off to his teammate. It was thrown in by the captain, Madden Goss, the senior. Again, another overhand toss by Masuti. He's had a handful of those tonight. Colts lead 2-0 here early in the second half. Still a lot of time for Timber Creek to find some substance on the board. As here comes another one that finds some air, and it misses to the right. Let's take a look at that goal from Robert Miller.
This one finding some space for Cornwall. Here we go. Have a chance to make something happen here. That will be a goal. Cumberland.
That one will stay in play after we come back from the replay. This one finds some air. Nasuti again to his left, and another overhand toss. Dumps it off to Zazai. Cumberland with a man down. Does he have a cramp? Yeah, it is a cramp. Now they ask to stop the clock at 26:47. He realized exactly what it was, and I thought an athletic trainer would have come out and taken care of that. But instead, the power of friendship and two teammates, David Barron being one of them. He's over there to help. Actually, this might be more than we thought. Gene Thomas is coming out. Does he just need a second to rest, or I don't know, but the athletic trainer for Cumberland is coming out as well. I found it interesting how he was able to kind of scooch his way off of the field so that play could resume. I mean, that's a really admirable act. You know, whether it looks silly on camera or not, he did what he thought was best for his teammates, which was get out of the way, you know, get out of, the danger, if you will, and be able to let play resume for his guys so that so that everything can transition back his way. Griner has it. A low hanger. Timber Creek trying to find a way to hold up on defense as those first two goals came within 15 minutes of each other on the game clock. So they want to find a situation where they're able to be consistent in their work. That one rolling for Timber Creek, finding more space. Griner dives, hangs onto it. Oh, the clock just resumed. The clock operator here at Cumberland never resumed the clock after the injury timeout. And now, I wonder if the referees are going to try to figure something out, because we had 25:08. They're now at 26:20. So that is just about a minute and 20 seconds of game time that has now kind of been added, in retrospect, because the scoreboard operator, or maybe something was wrong with the clock, I'm not sure. That one goes out to the right. Here's Griner. So 25:40 now. The clock on your screen has been adjusted to the scoreboard here at Cumberland Regional. And again, Cumberland going back and forth with Griner here. Finds a lot of air on that one. This one finds some space for Popel's eye. And now Timber Creek backed up on defense. That one went back to Dan Ford. And this one, I was going to say Timber Creek's going the wrong way. I thought they were going to send it back to Nasuti. That one's out of play. And now a very quick throw in for the Chargers. Back to Lopez. And back over to Santiago. This one might be trouble for Griner. One-on-one. Chance to break it for Timber Creek, and the possession gets taken away. Couple of touches on the head and on the knees for Cumberland, as they're going to also try to traverse across the field here and try to extend their lead more with 24 minutes remaining. Almost halfway through the second half, Nasuti is going to block it with his right foot, and it stays in play near the corner flag. We're still running. See what he can get. He's going to set it up. He's got space, and it's to the left. Nasuti saw that where it was headed and let go. And that is out of play to the left of the Cumberland goalpost. Good goal kick there by Timber Creek. Send their ball back in that favor. Gene Thomas, also an assistant coach for baseball. This one's got a chance to be something good. He's got one man on him who does deflect it. And that's out. So Cumberland, they have had chance and chance again to re-extend the lead. However, they have not been successful in that. Again, Cumberland trying to break out of the corner. They had 2 or 3 Creek defenders on him. He falls on it. That'll be a foul. Not the first time we've seen that tonight from Timber Creek. Just, backing Cumberland into a corner, and then Cumberland's able to get out of it, and unfortunately somebody falls as a result. We are going to have a substitution before we go back. Before Madden Goss, the senior, sends it away. Two 2-0, Cumberland. A goal in the first half, a goal in the second half. These matchups have always been great against each other. And another sub coming in for Cumberland. I thought it was a sub for Timber Creek, but it's just I think it's a coach standing on the sideline just near that box. I mean, this is all the way back. This is a far out free kick. I apologize. The clock was stopped. That is my bad. It's 21:40. And once again, back to being counted. Cumberland takes that one away. Timber Creek back at it. And Timber Creek again driving. Both goalkeepers have been under pressure in this second half. And, you know, if you've watched enough high school soccer games, you know that is not always the case. This is a game that, despite it being 2-0, is by no means one-sided. Timber Creek can probably break through at almost any minute. Here we go. 2-on-1. That one's out. And a very quick throw in here is Cumberland again trying to force the issue. That's out of play, beyond the track. And a sub for each side comes in here in the 60th minute. Looks like Lagzama is back in. And this will be a throw in for Timber Creek. That one's been headed a few times. It's up. It's way up there. Comes back down, and Griner's got it. Just off of the trajectory of that alone, I didn't know where that was going to land, whether it was just one that went straight up or one that was going to go out of play, but Griner was in on that and makes the play. We are on the home stretch now, final 20 minutes of this one. And Timber Creek definitely going to need some help here. And Timber Creek this year has not won a game where they did not score first. And another hit there. We're going to stop the clock for a card. Seen a handful of these tonight. And now the pressure's really on for Ryan Griner. Here we go. Griner setting this one up. And here we go. He's got it. Goal, Chargers. And the Chargers are on the board. It's 2-1. So this will not be a shutout after all. Man, look at that was some good stuff there from Papa's eye. He saw that crowd wasn't loving the fact that they scored, and they're like, all right, let him hear it. No foul there, a handful of falls. A lot of crossovers here on the far sideline near midfield. It goes back to Ramirez. Cumberland's got another chance to set this one up. Nasuti gets hit, and he hits the ground hard. We've got a player down. The clock is still rolling, and Nasuti gets up along with the Cumberland player that also went down in that. I mean, Nasuti basically got taken out from underneath his legs. I'm sorry, from underneath his waist. And what could have been a Cumberland goal ends up not amounting to much of anything. As a close call there. And Nasuti, who has taken a handful of hits tonight in the goalkeeper spot, seems to be okay. He kind of whiffed on that one with Lopez, and the game is tied! In the span of 2 minutes, Timber Creek has tied the game 2-2. And how about that? The Colts are letting them hear it, but after a dominant performance on the Cumberland defense, they have given a yellow card to Lucas Solzer as referees are talking here. Things might be getting a little tense between these two, as it does every time. But we are tied at 2 goals apiece as Timber Creek puts this game into overdrive with 2 goals in 2 minutes. And Timber Creek making a handful of substitutions before the whistle. And Blake Modry, who has been largely a team leader for this Colts team all night, having a quick discussion with the referee before the whistle blows. So now they're talking to Coach Ortsman. So I'm not sure what the discussion is. I'm 99% sure of the yellow card for Timber Creek was because they were kind of playing along with the crowd a little bit. There was some booing, and Timber Creek, obviously, they were rubbing it in a little bit. Not that that's a bad thing. I don't think that the fact that they celebrated was a bad thing. I think the referees took issue with how it went down, and maybe they thought that it was a little bit excessive, or that they were that it was an excessive celebration. 17:26 on the clock. We're back rolling. And the game is tied 2-2. But with every passing minute, this game seems to intensify more and more. Listen to this crowd. Losing his balance a little bit, that's out of play. But with that, I mean, you saw on Timber Creek's side, they were praising the player that ended up getting a yellow card for that celebration after the goal. Timber Creek liked that. They seem to have grace under pressure. As a hit there, now rolling across center of the pitch. Timber Creek again trying to sway the momentum. Right now the momentum is all on their side. That's out of play. I mean, I usually do not see a student section this vibrant. And this is why I love soccer night games, is that, you know, when you go to a 4 o'clock soccer game and the stakes are, you know, where they are right now, it's a little bit different. And we mentioned this when we saw RCSJ Gloucester and RCSJ Cumberland around this time last month, not too far from here at Cumberland County Tech in Vineland. And when we saw them, it was a tense final 15 minutes for JUCO soccer. There were red cards, yellow cards. There were cards everywhere. And, you know, the thing about that game was that, you know, at the JUCO level, there's something about them. They get heated, and they get heated fast. It doesn't take too long for them to find issue with something. As now we're back in it again with Johnson. They're going to put him there. That's where the whistle was blown, and that's where they're going to put him. Cumberland took issue with that call. This will be another free kick from about 20, maybe 60 feet out. It will be taken by number 10. Topple's eyes is out. On the ground, Griner. It deflects off of his nose, and he takes it. We remain tied. If you're just joining us after the game, you might want to rewind the tape about 5-10 minutes, because we have had a incredibly entertaining second half. It's Nasuti again taking care of business. This one again crossing the whole length of the field, and we've got an offside. I had a feeling that was coming in. But you have to remember, you know, what is at stake not only for the conference but also for PowerPoints. in the Tri-County Conference, which has 4 divisions, Classic, Diamond, Liberty, and Royal. These guys, with a Cumberland win, would take sole possession of second place in the division. Delsea is at 10-5, and they're 8-1 in the Liberty. And to be quite frank, I don't know if anybody can catch Delsea, especially with these teams having 3 games left on the schedule. For Cumberland to take sole divisional lead versus Delsea, first of all, Timber Creek plays Delsea on Thursday. And then the first round of the Coaches Cup at Cinnaminson, which is not a division game, is on the 25th. So basically, they're at 8-1, Timber Creek's at 5-2-1, and Delsea only has 1 divisional game remaining. They've played most of them already. So it looks like Delsea has the division locked up. And over in the Diamond, Shalleck seems to have that one taken care of. They're 8-0 with a 13-1 record. And then over in the Classic division, Wildwood is up 7-0, as in 7 wins, compared to Pennsville 6-2. And then over in the Royal division, that's anyone's game with Washington Township at 4-1-1 and Kingsway at 5-2. So in 3 of the 4 divisions, they are still up for grabs. At least the divisional title is still up for grabs. This is the only division where it's not. Taking a roll over there and hanging on to it is McWhirter. And we've got everybody on top of everybody there. Asher Kennedy went down. I'm sorry, that's not Asher Kennedy. I think that's Fiorani. That is Fiorani. He gets up on his own accord after a helping hand from the official, as he gets a nice ovation from the Cumberland faithful. This one will be taken by Popelzahn. Keeps it on the ground. Taking a fall there is Mullison, the sophomore. And now this one might be going back the other way. Cumberland especially working overtime to get this ball back into their possession with Modry. Like we said, he's been a team leader for these guys. Has played in every half of his 4-year career, in every game with the Colts. And he has been a habitual starter for this team as that one goes out near the corner flag. As we were talking about before with Mullison, 8 career goals, 3 as a freshman for what is a very young team. Only 3 seniors were introduced in pregame. But Nasuti, the goalie, is a sophomore with over 215 saves in just 2 seasons and 100 each in his freshman and sophomore campaigns. And then, look, you've got Madden Goss, a junior, as this one is floated, headed down. And now Timber Creek has some space. Cumberland looking to interject there. They almost did with David Barron, but no cigar there. This one goes back. A little tug, a little shove, back into the corner. He goes down, the ball barely went out. Cumberland thought it stayed in. And now this goes back to Timber Creek after the foul. The official walking back that Cumberland player a couple extra steps. In the final 10 minutes of regulation, for the first time in our high school soccer schedule this year, we could have an overtime period if things stay at the stalemate for the final 9.5 minutes here in the second half. Here comes a corner. It's got a good angle. And it went through the uprights, but that's not the sport that's pertinent today. Popple's eyes his eye. Sends it away. I'm sorry, his eye was on the corner kick. Ended up being a good corner kick, but That one did not go. This one will be a throw in by Holt. Holt to throw it in. You can hear Gene Thomas all the way over here. We've got a foul. Eight and a half minutes now. I mean, there's really no room to run, no room to hide. The goal, if there's a goal at all in the next 8 minutes, it could be a game winner. Just like we saw with Deptford and Cumberland the last time we saw them on October 2nd of last year. Here comes a header. No good. There's a scramble. It goes out for Timber Creek. It goes over the head of Johnson. And now this one's got backspin. Sulzer with what many thought was a hand. This one might be going back the other way. I mean, it has been a tense last 20 minutes. But Timber Creek holding Grace under pressure. What I like to say is if you talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. I'm not the one who came up with that, obviously. And I don't know who it's attributed to. However, Timber Creek talked the talk and walked the walk. You know, they scored that first goal, and that's going to be a handball called. Timber Creek's sideline just erupted after that call. And this is going to set him up for a penalty kick. And the clock stops with 6:59. Timber Creek has already had the advantage and the momentum on their side. Cumberland was up 2-0 early in the first half. Timber Creek with 2 goals in a row. And Griner can't get there. And it's good. Timber Creek has taken the lead. They talk the talk and they walk the walk once again. And they have come all the way back in an improbable fashion. They take a 3-2 lead. And in the final 7 minutes, a game that was Cumberland's to win all night has turned in 180 degrees. It's 3-2. The energy has not left the building, though, here in Colt Country. Not done yet. There are still 7 minutes to play, and Cumberland can still turn this game around. We're back underway as we brought that mic into the stands a little bit to hear how this crowd has reacted. Still staying beside their players. That's going to be a handball, I think, on Cumberland, as a little slow to get up. You can see he's limping there. I don't know if he can stay up. The clock is still running, and now they're going to stop the clock for Joe Santiago, a senior who was honored in the pregame. Gene Thomas now walking his way out onto the pitch. As he tried to get up, you can see he was bearing weight. He was bearing weight, and now he went back down. And the clock is stopped with 6:31 remaining in the second half. 3-2 Timber Creek. Now, like we said, Delsey has locked up the divisional lead and has locked up the divisional win with an 8-1 divisional record. And Timber Creek plays Delsey next on Thursday, as Madden Goss is going to send this one away on the free kick. So, with that being said, even though this isn't pertinent to the divisional race, it is pertinent to the fact that the winner would take second place of the Liberty Division. This one's out towards the corner flag. And that one's out of play. And what's also important is the power points here. You know, there is some PowerPoint kind of, drama that goes along with it. Timber Creek is in the playoffs, but they are trying to get a better seed, which right now they're behind Cumberland. Both teams are classified as South Jersey Group 3. Cumberland is in the 10 seed, and we'll run these by you in just a second after this corner kick by Timber Creek. This reminds me a lot of Ocean County and RCSJ Gloucester from October 1st. This one goes over the head of everybody. Kept in play by Goss. And this one's going back. Cumberland looking to find a way. This crowd is on their feet, but they do not get it. So maybe there's more to this after all. He takes the shot, and Nasuti is there. He takes it. So Shawnee has the PowerPoint lead in the number 1 spot. Then it's Toms River East, Morristown, Hamilton, and Delsey. They're Tri-County Liberty foes in the 5 spot. Cumberland is in the 10 spot. If they win, they might be able to bounce Mainland from the 9 spot and maybe even get a first-round home game, because they would play another divisional foe in Deptford if, and that's a big if, Cumberland wins. If Timber Creek wins, they're only 0.6 power points behind Cherry Hill West for the 12 seed. And Timber Creek at the moment, as the 13 seed, they would play the number 4 seed, Hamilton. And if the season ended today, like we said, Cumberland would play Deptford in the 10 versus 7 game, and Timber Creek would play Hamilton. Both of these teams are, Cumberland is pretty safe in the playoffs. Anywhere from a 6 to a 11 seed is pretty nice. But Timber Creek can't get comfortable. They've got Highland, who is in the 16 spot, Ocean City and Absegami behind them, but they are less than a power point up on Absegami and Ocean City. I don't think that even if Timber Creek loses every game from here on out, that they'll miss the playoffs, because Highland only has 10.5 power points and is 4-9. And I don't really see that dynamic changing for Timber Creek. So the ceiling is probably a 7 or 8 seed, and the floor is a 14 or 15 seed. So you can see why Timber Creek wants to win this game. They want the momentum going into the Coaches Cup at Cinnaminson, and they need the momentum to stay in a favorable position in the South Jersey Group 3 playoff bracket. We have 3 minutes remaining. About that. The student section vibrant tonight. And with 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining, they are still vibrant as ever here tonight. We hope our mics pick that up well. Just over 2 minutes left. Cumberland, they've got to get the wheels turning. They've got to get the gears moving. They've got to do something if they want to keep this game alive for another 10 or 20 minutes. Now this one goes back for Cumberland. They've got a chance to make something happen here. Going back the other way again. He's got room. Takes a shot on the ground. Nasuti dives on it. And the man who has over 100 saves per season certainly has a reason to back that up. Timber Creek, with 100 seconds left, leads 3-2. Timber Creek has scored 3 goals in the second half to get themselves in front. This one goes back to number 6, Stephen Puerta. They wanted a handball, but it's not going to matter. Here it goes over the middle. We've got a chance. Nasuni sends it away. He breaks through the traffic. And now they're going to have a quick throw in for number 5, Josh Holt. Holt throws it in. We've got 1:05. He gets knocked down. And a whistle. And a foul. There's under a minute left. There's no time to dilly-dally as some bees come in. But what do we have? Clock stops. Clock will stop at 45.8. As we've got an injury timeout for a Cumberland player. And he walks off under his own power. So they'll make a quick substitution. As actually the clock stopping for Cumberland, that helps things here. We've got 45 seconds left. Cumberland needs an 11th hour miracle, but instead, Timber Creek might get insurance. Griner picks it up. 35 seconds on the clock. Now this one's back over the middle. Lands where nobody can go. And another couple of headers there by Modry, as he looks for an exclamation point on his senior night. That one goes out. We have 18 seconds left. Maybe time for one more play. He gets wrestled. And that will be a foul, but it's going to be on Cumberland, and that should do it. We've got 5 seconds left. Timber Creek's going to hold on to the ball, and that will be a comeback victory as Timber Creek hangs on. They have won it 3-2. That is the final, as a stunned Cumberland crowd will accept defeat on this Tuesday night with a thriller from start to finish. And the Chargers spoil a senior day celebration, and the momentum is all the Chargers. They have won their last 3 versus Cumberland in head-to-head matchups, and a 3-2 comeback final is what we've got tonight.
Before we get to Kimberly, from that to the sports team, please come out on Thursday night to support Dale Senior.
That was a great game. I mean, look, things got tense, and even though there were some yellow cards, and even though there were some heavy penalties, the one thing I will say, Timber Creek and Cumberland kept it mostly classy. You know, Timber Creek, they got themselves in trouble for engaging with the crowd a little too much, but other than that, there weren't any fights amongst the players. They kept things in their own court. And Timber Creek's composure won them the game. They never accepted defeat. I've seen a lot of teams that go down 2-0, not even in the second half, but at any point during the game, they go down by 2, and the game kind of stalls out from that moment. But Timber Creek never let up. They were able to find a way to get into the goal, and I think once they scored that first goal in the 60th minute, it was either the 59th or 60th minute, they found a way to get back. They scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, and that penalty kick was the go-ahead off of Ryan Griner. And that was just an incredible game from start to finish. Cumberland, that was a game that they probably should have won if you just looked at the stats alone. Which goalkeeper had more pressure against them? It was Nasuti. Which team had more shots on goal? It was Cumberland. Which team, held the defensive pressure for most of the night? It was Cumberland. And then in the second half, the tide started to shift, and Timber Creek was able to get right back into it. And the fact that they never let go, they never accepted defeat, and they never stopped pushing, that won them the game. And now Timber Creek, despite the division being out of reach, they now take sole possession of second place in the Tri-County Liberty. And like we said, that could have some big implications for playoffs, especially for the higher seeds that may have to play them. They play Delsey Thursday night. That's Timber Creek. They play Delsey on Thursday. Then they've got the Clearview on October the 30th. So I'm excited to see what happens here, because with Timber Creek being in the 13 seed currently, Cherry Hill West is 7-6-1 with Dan Butler in the Olympic Conference, and they actually are just coming off of a 5-0 win versus Winslow from yesterday after losing 3 in a row. So with West back in the win column and Winslow being out of the playoffs, maybe this win in the power points matters more to Timber Creek because technically you beat an opponent that is of a higher seed than you. Cumberland at the 10 spot and Timber Creek at the 13. So I'm excited to see how this shapes out for South Jersey Group 3 because it's either going to mean that Cumberland gets bounced out of the possibility of getting a home game because Cumberland has to play Clearview at the end of the season, or it could mean that Timber Creek, even if neither of these teams get a home game, it could put them in marginally better position, whether it's for travel, because Cumberland would end up playing Deptford if the season ended today. If they get knocked down to the 11 seed, they would play Lacey, which is no trip around the corner, no hop, skip, and a jump. And then for Timber Creek, they would play the number 4 seed Hamilton, which is not too far from them, and they've played each other a handful of times as well in a crossover between the Tri-County and the Cape Atlantic. That will be all for us tonight here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Again, big thanks to Gene Thomas and Colin Lewis, the athletic director and boys soccer coach here at Cumberland, for having us out. It's been a pleasure. We didn't get paid for tonight. We're just doing this to advance our careers, and we certainly hope to be back at Cumberland sometime soon. Our next broadcast will be Wednesday, October 23rd, as we go on the virtual banks of California Speedway in Southern California. In race 5 of the simulated competitive online racing experience. We then have Paulsboro and Clayton on Thursday at 6, Pittman and Gateway on Friday at 7, and Salem and Pensgrove on Saturday at 12. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator Brandon the Caterland, our graphics crew Gavin Van Rel and Caleb Lane, I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you tomorrow night on the virtual banks, and in the real world, we'll see you on Thursday night in Clayton. Have a good one, folks.